Hello and welcome to the Synthesizer 2025. May 2025. I've been playing a handful of shows in Germany and one last night in Czech Republic. And today, going to look at what the setup is for this year. It's a little bit simpler than last year actually, but a bit more different. So you'll notice that sometimes I tour with a polyphonic synthesizer, the Poly 600. Might have changed it and went for something a little bit risky. It's Behringer Pro 800. The reason I've done this is because the Prophet 600 started playing up a bit and it's quite big. And this is an attempt. Look at this, look at this. It's on a rolling out draw. Some of you may think it's a bit risky, dodgy having Behringer, but actually I'm trying to do an honest review of this as I've gone along and they're not that bad. You need to do the firmware upgrade because the second you get these out of the box, they are horrendously crap. Get the firmware update in them. Anyway, so yeah, this is the synthesizer. It's based of 5 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're all bolted together by these bad boys. So we just have to clamp them together. Johnny, who is behind the camera, and I, and we plonk it in. And yeah, it works out all right. It's quite an easy thing. It's nice and solid nowadays. It's long gone are the days of just plonking them on. It has fallen down a couple of times, hasn't it? But not now. So it's okay. It's nice and solid. So what's going on? Down at the bottom, we've got the vocal setup. So these are the vocal pedals. So I use these Beyerdynamic DT797. Kind of pricey, but it's very good for feedback. It's quite good. It's a condenser mic on the end of this, and that goes into the Voco Loco radial. And what that is it's got a send, so you can plug in effects pedals, so you can send the vocals into the effects pedals. You've got a very rudimentary tone and stuff, so you can turn on and off. You can have it dry, or you can have it through the effects, but then you can also turn the effects on and off as well. I don't think it's coming through the monitor, so I'll show you everything else, but I can't show you this. But I've got some delay, some reverb, and some distortion, but only a little bit of distortion because it'll be a feedback nightmare if it wasn't. So underneath there as well, there's the digital mixer. You can see it's actually recording right now. I tried to record all of the gigs, and this is recording multi-track. So every single track that I've got plugged into it, currently there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They're all currently wired in separately, so you can mix it afterwards. It's pretty handy. Oh, and look at this. Look at this. We've got a Furman something or other, and this is for kind of cleaning up the electricity going in, because sometimes if you're playing in a place where the electricity is not great, I found this to be extremely useful because the effects go funny. Anyway, we're going to work up. So here's the bass station. We've got the keyboard in it. The keyboard controls whatever synth voice we want to play. So right now, that is the bass line. So the bass line is actually controlling up over here. So that goes via MIDI. There's a MIDI cable, and that travels up into this module right here, which is the drum trigger module. You can see it flashing when I hit the drums down here. You can see they're all triggering different modules, but we'll jump up here. But then now wire goes a MIDI through up to this box. So these boxes aren't connected together in any way, shape or form, except for the MIDI. And then the MIDI, this is a 6-channel MIDI interface, and what that does is it converts the MIDI data from the sequences that are down below into voltages that talk into various synthesizers in this synth. So the first thing, the bass line, is this bottom row. The whole bottom row is the bass line. It's definitely the most complicated synth voice of it, and there's just a load of different modulations. So if I play a note, I'll show you what it can do. So we've got 3 oscillators, but you can just play one of them. This is this one. Bring another one in. Bring another one in. But it's got an LFO, low frequency oscillator, before it. So this 1221 is wired into these oscillator around the back. So so you get a bit of modulation. Or you can go square wave. It's also got portamento, so there's a voltage controlled slide. We turn the slide up and we could go all the way up from. And it's quite good for playing the riffs like Waiting for the World to End, so I've already played this in, but. Oh. But then we've got the filter here, of course. This is the bit where you can turn up the and you use your little pinky to adjust the envelope generator going into it. So you're like, I got the envelope generator on my pinky, the main knob, and then the resonance. And then you've got some more voltage coming in from a mixer that is over here. So there's a mixer here that's got a bunch of voltages. You've got actually the oscillators going into the voltage mixer to also modulate the synthesizer's filter to make it go a bit more grubbly. Like, have a listen. So this is the oscillators going into the audio input of the filter, but they're also going into the voltage input of the filter. You get that grab? Without it, with it, you get it like. But not only that, you've got I've got an LFO in here as well. So there's a low frequency oscillator over here. We can also plug that in, turn it on with the filter, with the mixer. Sorry, you plug that in, and then you've got. Oh. Wow, you got. But there's also I also plug in a sequencer in there to make it go but I've got to unplug. I forgot to bring enough jack cables, so we're going to unplug this jack cable from the MS10 because in this gig I don't play them at the same time, and we're going to play the output of the sequencer, and we're going to go output of the sequencer into the input of the filter. So now if we go like this, play the note, and then flick through the filter, which is actually wired into output 13. So if I go like, I'm going to play it onto the, sequence it. Let's just go. You can see it bouncing through them. And that's going into the filter. Kick. Yeah, I get the idea. So there's a load of different. That's not the only bit about the bass line. We're going to go for the bass line. Talk a lot about the bass because there's a lot in there. I try and treat the bass as not just the bass line, but also the guitars and stuff. Has it run out of battery?
No, it's fine.
Okay, so now we've got that's what's going on with the filter. So we've got two envelope generators. One is controlling the filter. The other is controlling the voltage controlled amplifier. That's the volume. So you can have this longer, or you can turn. But then you can have shorter sounds. You can make it more stabby because this one's controlling the VCA. But then after that, we've got a bandpass filter. Dual bandpass for building up. And you can flick it off. So that's on a switch because I think it's good to be able to immediately switch things. And this is handily connected straight next to this distortion, the safety valve distortion. So what the safety valve distortion is you play it like... jumps between them, but it's handy because let's say this one's on and you want to skip the middle bit without that, so you could just do them both at the same time with the thumbs like this. So you go straight from bandpass to distortion, and then there's that function. And then here we've got the VCA. So if we turn up the VCA, so that's the thing that's controlled by this. So now, but not only that, these oscillators also go into this module up here called the Plexquencer, which is basically a multiplexer with 3 inputs. And this is, it's mixing the oscillators together in a weird way. It's a weird module, I won't go too much into detail, but this is another thing that's just constantly running underneath as a sub, but a crunchy sub, so. And you can adjust it like, you can see how it's kind of going up and down. It depends on the beating and how in tune they are with how much it kind of bounces between each other. You can do it. So that's just to bring it in and underneath it. And then after that, we got a delay for the bass line. And then you could go into crazy sound at the end. And fin. So that's the bass line. There's a lot going on in that, but big boy jump on there. And then up at the top, we'll just quickly briefly go over these. We've got a high note section. It's got mutable instruments braids behind a Cosmo panel, of course, but Crucifix made this panel and it's really cool. So we've got an octave, we've got the sound, which you can change the waveform, and then you've got a filter. Envelope generator to make it longer, and then a delay. Next to that, we've got a multi-purpose synth voice that I've made. So this is for high notes that are doubling up. It's very much the same setup as that, but the oscillator's got its octave in it. But this also acts as another sub, crunchy sub. Each of them have their separate delays because it's cool having different delay times for both of them. It's a bit overwhelming when it's playing all the time. But yeah, like I said, LFO's up there. So that's that whole setup right there. Underneath is a little bit of a mess at the minute, but trying to figure it out. So this is the drum section, the rhythm bit. So this is controlled by the BeatStep Pro. So the BeatStep Pro's here, and you've got a kick. You can see the light. The kick is going into this module. It's been the same kick since I've had this, made this thing. It's right there. And then you've got a snare, which is a mixture of a sample out of this, which is a sampler. It's got samples in it, and then also this analog snare. It's not. That goes into this matrix mixer, which is basically, I don't really use it as a matrix mixer anymore. It's just made to send out 3 separate outputs to 3 separate channels on the mixer for the drums. So you've got a kick, snare, hi-hat with a decay. You've got some random noises. Oh, that's really noisy. You've got a snare, you've got a noise, which isn't as good as it could be. I'm going to make a better noise. You got this is another drum. This is called the Buffaco Kickall, I think, and I'm just using it as a bit of a fun. And then there's CR78 style drums, which is this module section here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 analog drums in there, CR78 style, and I think they go actually into a delay. No, they don't. They don't go into the delay. Well, there's a delay here that's evidently doing nothing, but I think they're also going into this. Nope. No, nothing's going. This is just a little bit of to make a fill and stuff. It's called a freeze module. Furby's next to it, and Furby just wakes up. I patch him in every so often, just get him going. I'm like, oh, check out the Furby. Come on, Furbs. Oh no, come on, wake up. And that is also, you could trigger it via this jack cable that goes over to the MIDI output, so number 12, which I think is, so now you can sync it up to, if I do, not massively noticeable in this setup, but you get the idea. So that's all of the bits, and then to play the songs, there's the Circlon down here. There's a bunch of different scenes I've got set up for different songs. So for instance, this one that we're in is World to End. With this, I've got the drums. I'll just get a sort. Oh no! I'll just get a snare going, and then I'll just and then I'll just play it in. Bring it bandpass. So yeah, that's the playing live. And then there's certain sections of the set that are coming from this thing called the cymatic audio. And it's basically a MIDI file player. So sometimes some of the songs are a little hard to play like that. They're a little bit too drawn out for what they're supposed to be. So for instance, you start with a couple of the classical songs because they sound good. I'm not very good at keyboard, so I press play on it, let the synth do the playing and bugger off for a mo. So now we've got... And then I'll walk off one set. It's going funny, but one set you'll hear in a sec. Anyway, I'll see you later. Have fun. I'm gonna film it. And then you unplug it. I'll see you later.
You forgot about the MS-10.
Oh, the MS-10, shucks. So this is an edit. This is an edit in the MS-10, which I've just unplugged to show you some stuff. I'll plug it back in. Basically, MS-10 is just for on the top, so you can play a nice riff above. It's on its own now. That's all it really is for. So yeah, MS-10 for a bit of a live, a bit of a lead. Cool. Right, I can edit that together. Nice one.